Hi, my name is Tatiana, and as I say in the beginning of all my videos, I am not a doctor. I have been through relationships with narcissists, and this video series is part of my own coping strategy, and also to validate your gut feelings about what you're going through, because oftentimes we don't have a support system, and we don't know where to go, or we have to hide what we're learning. So I am here to validate what it is that you're going through. And today I'm going to talk about attracting narcissists. I have had discussions with girlfriends saying, is it me? Am I attracting the narcissist? And my gut is saying no. I think that really what is happening is that we are not obeying our gut instinct. I think that healthy people have boundaries that they don't even think about. And for those of us who have been in abusive relationships, we have to learn to think about our boundaries. And it's already difficult for us to do that. But we need to make a choice to focus on our boundaries and suck it up and stand up for our boundaries. I think that healthy people repel naturally the narcissist or the abusive person. I think that when something happens in a chance meeting, they say to themselves, oh, that I don't know, that person kind of made me feel funny. Yeah, I'm not really interested in getting to know them. Whereas those of us who don't have those boundaries, we override our gut feelings because we want to be a pleaser and we want to make people feel good, and whatever it is that person is seeking from us, we instinctively try to fulfill that, whereas healthy people instinctively take care of themselves first. So I just want to validate you that if you feel that something or someone is dangerous or is just making you uncomfortable, it's okay to discontinue contact with that person. And if need be, you don't need to say why. You need to learn to say no, practice saying no. And as I had gotten out of my marriage, I repeatedly said that my bullshit tolerance level is at zilch. And I was very happy during that period of time. It was a bit aggressive for my personality to say that, but it worked. Anything that made me in the least bit uncomfortable, I said no. And I got in someone's face and said, I don't appreciate that. I don't like that. Do not do that to me again. And people respected me, and people didn't bother me. So even though I am a pleaser and I want people around me to be happy, and I do instinctively fulfill the role that other people want, when I say that, when I act on that my bullshit tolerance level is low, that is the best means of setting boundaries for myself. And I also wanted to say that if you feel that you're attracting narcissists, that it is helpful, at least it was helpful for me, to kind of go back and figure out where and why and how these narcissists can pick up on me being available to be abused. And I believe that it starts, at least for me it did, as a child with abusive parents. And I have talked with other people about this too, that when your caretakers are abusive, many of us learn how to become pleasers because it is a survival mechanism. We do and behave exactly how the abuser wants us to behave because it stops the pain. And as a child, you instinctively fulfill those things. And so they become deeply ingrained in us to to find how to please someone and how to do it, whether it's changing your behavior or literally physically doing the thing that the person wants you to do, whatever it is. It can be having the table set at a certain time, to bringing your alcoholic father the beer before he asks for it. It can be anything. Touching an adult in inappropriate places, we do that because we have been taught to be pleasers, and it saves us from pain. I also just wanted to say that in regards to sexual abuse, when I was a child, I did have an abusive father who did hit us. And when I came across my first sexual abuser, it was a friend of the family, and he knew the right thing to say to me. He said that if I did not do what he wanted me to do, which was to touch him in his private parts, that he would tell my father, and that my father would be very angry at me. And I have thought about that many times over the years, that is exactly what I needed to be told. I did not want my father to be angry at me. And if I told my father, he would be angry at me. So I felt that as nauseated and terrified as I was, I believe I was 6 years old, I was truly deeply nauseated and truly terrified. And he did abuse me in public. He did abuse me in the pool, in front of my father, under the water where he couldn't see. And those things validated to me that my father approved of this behavior, and that my father would be angry if I didn't participate. So that is just one example of how we learn at a young age to override our gut instinct. I did not tell anyone until I was well past 18, and did not receive the validation that I wanted from my family. So I just want to say to you, I know that if you have gotten into a narcissistic relationship or an abusive relationship, again, I just want to validate you that your gut instinct is the instinct to follow. Whether it hurts someone else is irrelevant. If your gut is telling you to protect yourself, then it's time to start protecting yourself, and you can do triage on your own damage later. The number one thing is to protect yourself. So again, as I close all my videos, I want to remind you again that in an abusive or a narcissistic relationship, number one, do not confront the abuser. What do? We do not confront. And secondly, memorize the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233. They are there to listen to you. If you talk to someone who doesn't listen to you, just hang up and call back. They are there to listen to you. Get help. Talk to someone. You are not crazy. Much love.